Do you want to create a new hardcover for one or multiple of your books, but don't have all the fancy materials you see in all the book painting videos? This video is made for you. And in this video, I'm going to transform this book into this using simple items you surely have in your house. For this DIY, we are going to create the hardcover using paper. First, it allows you to print the design you want. And if you don't want to print, you could use most of the medium you could want, like watercolor, paint, pencil, ink, whatever. Additionally, it is much cheaper than leather, fabric, or some other material. And lastly, you don't need to leave your home to find some paper, I am sure of that. This is what you'll need for this project. You'll need the book of your choice, obviously, a butter knife or something similar, not sharp, white glue. It can be simple white glue, tacky glue, PLA glue, or wood glue. A brush, cardboard. I took the back of a sketch pad, for example. An X-Acto knife or scissors. Some paper. Anything you would want to create your cover of your dream, like printer, paint, ink, pencil, etc. And a book press, if you have one, but just some heavy books or weights will work. And this is optional, but you could use a thin cloth, an iron, and painter's tape. Let's begin, shall we? The first step is to measure your book. So measure and note your book's height, width, and thickness, and add 8 mm to the height. The second step would be to remove the paperback cover. For that, you can use an iron and baking paper to melt the glue to the spine to help you peel off the cover. If you want to keep the paperback cover, you can glue the hardcover directly on it, but I don't suggest it because your spine will be stiffer and it won't last as long. And if your book have a hardcover to begin with already, you can just cut it off. The third step is to create the ends paper. For that, nothing is simpler. Fold 2 sheets of paper in the middle. Glue the end paper to the book with a 3 mm strip of glue next to the spine. Flip and cut the excess paper. Repeat for the other side. So fold, glue, flip and cut. Now let's reinforce our text block by gluing a thin cloth or paper to its spine and over the ends paper. Now leave your book under weights or in a book press with baking paper over and under it at least an hour. I used simple paper and you could too, but it may stick to the text block with the excess glue. While we wait, we are going to create the hardcover structure, its bones if you will. For that, cut the front cover, the back cover and the spine from cardboard. Do not forget to add the 8 mm to the height. Now place the cardboard pieces you just cut on a straight line with the spine in the middle, leaving a 3 to 5 mm gap between the spine and the covers. Now tape them like that and or glue some fabric or paper to it. I chose to tape and glue some paper to make sure the structure is strong. This is what is going to hold the cover together over time. The next step is to design and create the cover you want. You can find some printables on the web, but you can also create your own. To design mine, I watched a Skillshare course that I highly recommend. The link will be in the description below. When you design your cover, just note that you will need to make the front cover, the spine and the back cover on the center of 3 different A4 sheets of paper. Here is the process I went through when I created my cover. So I wanted a specific background color that I could not find in colored paper. So I decided to paint my paper with spray paint. I planned to print the darker part and paint the white parts, but the printer ink would not stick to the paint paper, so I had to spray it first with a matte varnish. Then it would print, but the ink wouldn't dry all the way, so I had to be really careful to not smudge the ink when I painted the white parts with an acrylic marker. After that, to set the design, I sprayed some more matte varnish, but from really far away and with multiple thin coats to be sure not to smudge the ink. It did smudge a bit, but just a bit, so you need to be careful if you follow those steps too. Once you have your cover design ready, you can cut the spine with a 3 cm border on each side and on the top and bottom. The front cover with a 3 cm border on top, bottom and right side, and cut right to the edge for the left side. And then for the back cover, again a 3 cm border on top, bottom, but this time on the left side, and then cut right to the edge on the right side. Now take your spine and fold it on each side. You can help you with your structure to mark where the folds precisely needs to be. Then apply a thin layer of glue on the spine of the structure and glue your design on it. Do not glue the sides yet. Now protect your design and smooth the spine out and get rid of all the excess glue and air bubbles. Before we glue the sides, we need to mark the creases. Now this is the trickiest part of the whole process. You need to be really careful. We need to push our paper to the creases, but with the moisture of the glue, the paper is really fragile and can rip as mine did. I will show you how I fixed mine later, but just make sure you place your paper and glue your paper as it was not ripped. Now you can glue the sides to the structure of the front and back cover and smooth that out. Okay, this is where I messed up by trying to fold my cover when the paper was still so fragile because of the moisture. Do not do that, but thanks to the structural reinforcement of all of this was not that bad and I will fix it later, but be careful not to be too impatient as I was. After the spine, you can now glue the front and back cover design on the structure of your cover. Just remember to apply a thin layer of glue and do not forget to smooth it out. Now you might see some imperfections. That is because of the glue, the thickness of the glue, but do not worry, it will smooth out when it dries. Now flip the cover so the design faces down. Cut the corners with a 45 degrees angles, leaving just 3 mm of paper to the corner. Then apply glue on one of the border and glue it to the inside of the structure. I suggest you to fold the structure over the border and not the other way around. This will help you to have sharp borders and perfect corners without any effort. Repeat the same steps for all of the 3 borders left. Now the last step, or before the last if you messed up like I did, is to assemble your new book. So place the book inside your new cover, making sure to place it upside up. Triple check if needs be. Make sure it is centered and place it carefully on your table. Lift the top cover and place a protective paper under the first page and apply a thin and even layer of glue to the top of the end paper, leaving 5 mm without glue to the spine. This is really important, otherwise your book won't open correctly. Replace the scrap paper and then close the cover on the book and press down. Now flip the book and repeat for the back cover. Do not glue the spine though. Do not glue the spine, otherwise you won't open your book ever. So do not. Now place a scrap piece of paper under the front and back cover and under and over your book. I would suggest you again to place baking paper. This time it is more important because if it sticks to your book, it might damage it, so be careful. And place it on the weight for at least 3 hours. Be patient. I know it's hard. And now, if like me, your cover ripped a bit, you can apply paint over the rip and that will cover it and you won't see ni vu ni connu, comme on dit en français, which means neither seen nor known. And voila, your DIY hardcover book is done. And here is the final result. In conclusion, you don't need to be an artist or purchase expensive materials to create a customized and durable hardcover. So, no excuses left. Grab your favorite book and follow these simple steps to create your new favorite custom book. If you want to see more videos on how I made the Bridgerton books with hidden forage painting under gold, you just can check out those videos or check out my channel. I will be happy to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye. Ciao.